the campus of Howard University in Washington, D.C. This is NewsVision, a newscast written, reported, and produced by capstone journalists in the Department of Media, Journalism, and Film.
Paris terrorist attack, diet soda health effects, and an ex-football NFL player commits suicide. Good afternoon, my name is Devin Jones, and thank you for joining us for a special weekend edition of the NewsVision Newscast. Thursday night, Paris was on center stage after a terror attack shook the city. A gunman carrying an assault rifle shot and killed a police officer. 2 other police officers and a bystander were also injured in the attack. The attack is expected to sway voting in France's current election for a new president. After the fear-gripping attack, citizens may lean towards a candidate who appears to be tough on crime. China has put missile-capable bombs in the air this week after rising tensions with North Korea. The U.S. saw evidence that China was prepared to handle a potential problem with North Korea. Following North Korean missile tests, tensions have continuously risen on the Korean peninsula. However, according to China, the U.S. beliefs are untrue. China is reporting that the China-North Korean border is at a normal level of combat. In just 24 hours, Russian bomber planes have been seen off the coast of Alaska. The closest the bombers came was 36 nautical miles off of Alaska's coast. The first spotting of a Russian aircraft was seen as safe by U.S. military officials. But with the strain between the two countries at this moment, many are still on the edge of their seats. As President Trump's first 100 days winds down, he recants on some of the things he promised to voters during his first months of his presidency.
What follows is my 100-day action plan to make America great again.
Just before the November election, then-candidate Donald Trump presented this contract to the American voter, offering a series of measures that would be pursued within the first 100 days.
Middle-class tax relief and simplification act. The American Infrastructure Act, School Choice and Education Opportunity Act.
But now, with just 8 days to go, the president is tamping down that 100-day promise. In a Friday morning tweet, the president saying, "No matter how much I accomplish during the ridiculous standard of the first 100 days, and it has been a lot, including the Supreme Court, media will kill." Supporters of the president point to the nomination of Neil Gorsuch to the Supreme Court, higher numbers on Wall Street, and a series of executive orders as evidence the president is getting things done.
No administration has accomplished more in the first 90 days.
But some of those signature promises have fallen short, including the effort to repeal and replace Obamacare. With Congress set to return to Washington next week, sources say the White House wants another run at health care. But it's up to House Republicans to strike a deal.
Both the right and the left should like this. It's about good policy.
This despite the threat of a government shutdown if Congress can't reach an agreement on a spending bill by the end of next week. The president is optimistic that won't happen.
I think we're in good shape.
In Washington, I'm Kristen Holmes.
As the president's first 100 days continue, stay tuned to NewsVision for further updates. Tear gas and rubber bullets met protesters on Wednesday as they took to the streets in Venezuela. Protesters are fighting for elections and the return of democracy to their homeland. Current President Nicolas Maduro ignored calls from international leaders to allow his people to peacefully assemble. Instead, he unleashed the military on the protesters. Some protesters fought back, wearing masks to protect themselves from the tear gas. At the moment, 3 fatalities have been reported. In other news, after $43 million was recovered in an apartment in Nigeria, the country's spy chief, Ayodele Oke, has been suspended. Reports claim that the money, found all in cash, may belong to his agency. The money, including $76,000 in Nigerian currency and $35,000 in euros, was found in the country's largest city, Lagos. Oke has admitted that his agency was in fact responsible for the funds, intended to be used for covert operations. Coming up, diet soda may cause serious health risks such as dementia. Stay tuned to that story up next.
I'm trying to get eyes on the subject.
Are you sure we should be doing this?
Yes, it's our job to defend the public's right to know.
We're here live following Senator Merritt, a staunch advocate for nutrition, eating a donut. Howard University's NewsVision. We know, and you should too.
New studies show that artificially sweetened drinks may cause damage not only to your body, but to your brain as well. The American Heart Association published a study that suggests that the artificial sweeteners found in drinks like diet soda may lead to a higher risk of stroke and dementia. Climate change is affecting every part of human life as of late. Corn farmers are the newest bunch concerned about the health of our planet. When droughts occur like the one in 2012, not only does corn production go down, but corn prices go up. Soil destruction from heavy rain is making corn harvesting harder than ever. Thankfully, agricultural companies like John Deere are thinking of new technology to help farmers create a thriving corn crop. Our next story comes from Florida, where a 10-year-old boy with autism was arrested at his school. John Haygood was arrested after an incident that took place in October. Back in the fall, Haygood had an incident with a paraprofessional, which left scratches and marks on the paraprofessional. The young boy was arrested on a felony battery charge. Criminal charges were originally pursued against Haygood on November 1st. After being expelled from his school, Haygood returned for standardized testing, which he refused to do, which led to his mother being notified that there was an active warrant out for the 10-year-old's arrest. Following a month-long search, the missing teenager from Tennessee has been found. The girl's former teacher, who is facing kidnapping charges, was found with the girl in Northern California. According to the U.S. Attorney Jack Smith, the man will also face a federal charge of transporting a minor across the state lines for the purpose of sexual intercourse. The arrest stemmed from a hotline tip the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation received. According to Mintel.com, over 50% of black consumers in the U.S. use styling products compared to only 34% of the general population. Howard University NewsVision reporter Raven Greenaway tells us more about some dangers that may lurk in the multi-billion-dollar business.
The Environmental Working Group found that 1 in 12 beauty products marketed to black women rated highly hazardous on their Skin Deep cosmetic database. The products had ingredients like fragrance and parabens, which may raise many health concerns.
There we concluded with a report that, black women, if they were to shop products that were only marketed to them, they may not have as many options for products that don't have these ingredients of concern.
These limited options are a viable concern for black female consumers.
How available the alternatives are, and how expensive the alternatives are. Everything these days leads to cancer, and I feel on the list of things that I do to avoid cancer, my hair products really isn't up there.
Salon owner Wanda Henderson looks for other things when purchasing products for her salon. Consumers can make healthy choices by avoiding certain ingredients on the label.
But the term paraben is at the end of the ingredient. This ingredient class has been linked to hormone disruption. Not only has certain mixtures of fragrances have been shown to cause allergies and skin sensitization. Fragrance itself is a undisclosed term.
The Skin Deep database rates products from 1 to 10, reflecting the hazards of ingredients. The database has included over 1,000 products marketed to black women.
When a product scores 1 to 2, that's a product that, we would suggest that you should probably get, just because it has ingredients that haven't been associated with any of these health hazards.
Using the Skin Deep database is one way for women to protect themselves, and EWG suggests a few others. Read the label, Choose products that don't have ingredients of concern, and don't use products with parabens or fragrance.
There isn't much research into products marketed towards Black women, but the Environmental Working Group sees the importance of bringing awareness to consumers. With NewsVision, I'm Raven Greenaway.
Thank you, Raven. For more information, log on to ewg.org. Splashing into the news this week is a new type of prosthetic for amputees. The Amputee Coalition of America estimates that there are currently about 2 million amputees living in the U.S. The fin is a prosthetic that will be available as early as this summer. That will make it easier for amputees to swim and stand in the water. Coming up, ex-Patriots football player commits suicide in prison.
I'm trying to get eyes on the subject.
Are you sure we should be doing this?
Yes, it's our job to defend the public's right to know.
We're here live following Senator Mary, a staunch advocate for nutrition, eating a donut. Howard University's NewsVision. We know, and you should too.
Just days after being acquitted in a double murder case, ex-Patriots football player Aaron Hernandez hung himself in his jail cell after he was found hanging from his bed sheets attached to a window in the cell. Life-saving techniques were attempted on Hernandez. He was later pronounced dead at 4:07 a.m. In other sports news, the man responsible for former New Orleans Saints football player Will Smith's death has been convicted of manslaughter and attempted manslaughter. Cardell Hayes will serve 25 years without the possibility of parole. After winning her 23rd Grand Slam earlier this year, Serena Williams happily announced yet another achievement she is proud of: pending motherhood. Titled the best women's tennis player of this era, many across social media expressed their joy and amazement over the fact that Williams was with child as she played in her winning tennis championship. Our hometown Washington Wizards are in the NBA playoffs after being absent from the playoffs for 5 years. The Wizards will face off against the Atlanta Hawks tonight in Game 3 at 5:30. Thank you for joining the special weekend edition of the NewsVision Newscast. I'm Devin Jones. We'll see you next time.